Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us at 7. I'm Tracey McCain.
And I'm Nicole Nalepa in for Caitlin Newclo. And you are watching Eyewitness News right here on the Wax. We have a lot to get to, of course, as usual. But first, we want to get to that na-na-na boo-boo. Can we just stop for a moment and, what is it, oogle at the old Sabre-Kai camp? I think it's oogle.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
I'll have to Google that. I don't know. I don't usually use that as part of my vocabulary, but let's oogle it or Google it. Ogle, haha.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Well, it's beautiful, whatever you want to call it. And we want to do is enjoy that lovely view. It's a little cool this morning, as it should be this time of year. And we're starting off with some frosty numbers out there. 20s, 26 in Tallinn, 27 in Willimantic, 25. The cool spot right now is in Norwich. So that flow is kind of gentle coming in from the north and east under that clear sky. So going out for a walk this morning, yeah, you need the jacket early on, but you'll be tossing that to the side fairly quickly today. So kind of where we topped off yesterday, we'll be closer to that by noon. And then this afternoon, inland especially, we are getting well into the 60s, down towards the shoreline. That wind from the south, yeah, messing things up a little bit. All right, so, but either way, it's a beautiful day across the state, just a little bit lower in the temperature department. Along the shoreline, mid to upper 50s, you're used to that. Inland, 66 degrees. Hartford, Enfield, so it's a day you want to be outside doing something, because tomorrow, of course, my off day, it's like gloomy weather, fog, mist, but yeah, I'll have some time to take advantage of this later on today myself. So we'll get into the gloomy weather when we could see that rain and even that flip to some snow that's coming up a little bit later. Caitlin?
All right, thanks, Jill. 7:02 here on your Wednesday. If you're just waking up with us here on the Wax, we do appreciate that. And if you're getting ready to head out the door, hit the road, heading to work, bringing the kids to school or the bus stop, majority of the state looking absolutely fantastic. No crashes, no major incidents, no construction right now. We'll start to see some of that daytime work pick up. I'll get you more on that in just a little bit, but we're taking a look here in Hartford, 91 north and southbound, no delays. Live look in Middletown along Route 9, no delays. Here in Waterbury along 84, this is by the Mixmaster, looking good, as it is in Meriden along 691 east and westbound. Let's take you out to New Haven. You can see 95 north and southbound here by Fulton Terrace. Things looking absolutely spectacular. That visibility is so crystal clear, which is some great news. Grab the sunglasses as you're heading out the door. Although it is a chilly start, you might need the heat on as you're getting ready to hop in the car as well. Your drive time's all looking great too. About an hour-and-a-half ride down through Fairfield County, 95 southbound towards the George Washington Bridge. That's a quick check at your Connecticut Chevy First Alert traffic report, driven by your Connecticut Chevy dealers.
Well, developing this morning, police in New London are searching for a suspect in a deadly shooting.
This all happened right near Moore and Montauk Avenues last night. And your reporter, Marcy Jones, has some more information from New London Police Headquarters.
Well, that's exactly what detectives are trying to piece together right now. The only thing they're really saying about this is that they have reason to believe this was not random. They think that this was a targeted attack. According to the New London Police Department, officers responded to the area of 22 Moore Avenue just after 6:15 Tuesday evening for reports of shots fired. When officers arrived, they discovered an adult male suffering from gunshot wounds in his torso. The man was rushed to the hospital for medical treatment, but unfortunately did not survive his injuries. This morning, a detective with the department did confirm that they do not have anybody in custody at this time. They are asking members of the public to come forward if they have any knowledge of this deadly incident. Your reporter in New London, Marcy Jones, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
This morning, Waterbury's deputy fire chief is speaking out weeks after responding to a house fire that triggered an investigation into a horrific case of alleged abuse. Deputy Chief Bob Stockart says he is still in shock after a routine fire call turned into a remarkable rescue. Investigators say a Waterbury man started the fire on Blake Street to free himself from decades of captivity and starvation.
We know that there's things that we don't know about, you know, in this city. And if the victim hadn't started the fire, you wouldn't be here and nobody would be talking about Waterbury right now.
The 32-year-old victim's stepmother, Kimberly Sullivan, will be back in court next week on charges she locked him away since he was 11. Police say the victim is being treated in a medical facility and continues to thank the firefighters who saved him.
This morning in Newington, police are searching for the suspects wanted for a home invasion. Police tell us they were able to force their way into a home on West Hartford Road and robbed the person inside. Investigators say this was a targeted case and that no one else is in danger. But right now we're still trying to find out if anyone was hurt. Unfortunately, details on the investigation remain sealed.
This morning, a final ruling for a man charged in connection to his stepson's death on a go-kart in Meriden. Stephen Stolfi was charged with risk of injury after he modified his 6-year-old stepson's go-kart with an engine and no seatbelt or other safety measures. The boy, Aiden, crashed the go-kart last April. A judge sentenced him to nearly a year in jail, suspended, so he won't serve time and he will be on conditional release. Since the crash, Stolfi and the boy's mother have called it a tragic accident.
And this morning in Willimantic, police are searching for whoever was involved in that shooting at Blarney's Cafe right by Eastern Connecticut State University's campus Monday night. This is a story we first brought you as breaking news yesterday morning. Now, we learned that one person was taken to the hospital after a bullet grazed his arm. He's expected to be okay. Investigators believe the shooting may have followed an argument, and they don't believe that there is any threat to the public.
He's left a legacy of love and of service that will never be forgotten.
Today, Connecticut says farewell to a local hero. Yale police officer Gregory Swantek died in the line of duty suddenly last week after a medical emergency.
In just a few hours, his family and friends, as well as members of law enforcement, will honor his life and legacy at his funeral. Your reporter Roger Susanen has the details from outside the Oakdale Theater in Wallingford.
It's a difficult situation for so many people, really throughout our entire state. You can see behind me here at the Oakdale Theater, the tributes to Officer Swantek have already been posted here. The Yale Police Department tells us his death was unexpected and heartbreaking. Officer Swantek was just 47 years old when he died. He leaves behind a family, including a 10-year-old daughter, as well as his law enforcement family. They're in mourning as well. Officer Gregory Swantek died in the line of duty last week when he suffered a medical emergency. The exact details have not been disclosed, but his impact on the people around him is crystal clear. Yesterday, during Officer Swantek's wake in East Haven, Yale Police Chief Anthony Campbell praised Swantek as an officer who wore his humanity as openly as his badge, who gave a piece of his soul to every member of the community in every interaction. He pledged that his brothers and sisters with the Yale Police Department will always be there for Officer Swantek's family.
And they've lost a brother, they've lost a former spouse, they've lost a father, and we want them to understand that their family has gotten bigger.
Now, Officer Swantek's funeral begins here in Wallingford at noon. There could be some traffic disruption, so keep that in mind if you're driving through the area. Of course, we'll have full coverage throughout the day. Reporting in Wallingford, I'm your reporter Roger Susanen, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
All right, thanks, Roger. And now at 7:08, President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin are agreeing to a pause in strikes against energy infrastructure in the Ukraine war. The White House says it's already working to negotiate the next step of a ceasefire in the Black Sea and an eventual end to the fighting. And at this point, it's still unclear whether Putin will back away from his conditions. Ukraine says it's open to any proposals that lead to sustainable peace.
Astronauts Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams are back on Earth after a 9-month unexpected stay on the International Space Station. They are now adjusting in Houston this morning after splashing down off the coast of Florida Tuesday evening. They'll spend a day or two at the Johnson Space Center as doctors evaluate how they're adjusting to the pull of gravity back here on Earth. Remember, they launched on the first human test flight of the Boeing Starliner last year, but the vessel had to return to Earth without them because of a propulsion issue.
Lake Compounce is soon going to have a new owner. Hershend, a company that owns several amusement parks nationwide, has signed an agreement to acquire the parent company of the popular park in Bristol. Hershend released a statement saying, quote, "The teams at these parks have done an incredible job building beloved destinations in their communities, and we look forward to learning from them."
Good morning, everyone. It is 7:10, a bright start to our day. Just a lovely view out there in Middletown and across the state. Hour by hour forecast, sunshine for us all day long. Temperatures warmer than yesterday. We're in the 50s later this morning. We continue to climb, especially inland, and topping off in the mid-60s inland along the shoreline. That flow coming up from the south will prevent you from getting much above the mid to upper 50-degree range, but still beautiful for you. too. So bright, milder today with a fog and drizzle though for tomorrow. Yuck. And then for Friday morning, rain transitioning to snow, especially across the Northwest Hills. So we'll talk about all this in detail for you. Take a look at the weekend forecast coming up here in a few minutes. For now, we'll send it back to you, Trace.
All right. Hey, Jill, get ready for this. Channel 3 is your home for the UConn Huskies. And with the NCAA tournament just days away, we're getting you ready. Watch a special edition of UConn Huskies Unleashed tonight at 7 right here on Channel 3. We'll break down the brackets, talk with the head coaches and players, and hear what some of the analysts have to say.